I put a lot of emphasis on price and allocation scores in my video, or time and money, because it matters. Because we don't have an infinite amount of that resource. I wish. And so, what are the top 5 value whiskeys of 2023? Let's find out. Welcome to Whiskey Bank. My name is David. And value to me is very simple. It's the most bang for your buck that you can get. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to be cheap. Just because it's cheap doesn't mean that it's valuable. Very important. Some of these bottles actually are kind of pricey, but they also offer a lot of value for it. And I'll explain why. And all these bottles were based on my 4-tier scoring system: the experience score, the allocation score, the price, and the style points. Now, I have a couple of rules to be eligible for my whiskey theory list. First, I have to have a bottle. To me, in order to properly experience it, I have to have it over multiple nights and sometimes multiple pours in a night. And I can't really do that with a sample. Having a bottle of it really makes sure that I fully immerse myself in it to be really confident that it belongs on a whiskey beer list. Number 2, the bottle had to be purchased, released, or got popular in 2023. 2 reasons for this. First, it includes some of the late 2022 releases that I was able to experience or obtain in 2023. And also, more importantly, it eliminates a lot of the Hall of Fame value bourbon rise that everyone includes. Upgrade 12, Rare Breed, Old Forester 100s, etc., etc. And it's boring to do a list like that over and over again. So I really wanted to focus on 2023 for this list. And last one, store picks are not eligible. There's just too much variance in store picks, and also obviously really hard to get the same store pick. So I just don't like to put those, but nationally distributed non-store pick single barrels are eligible for my whiskey of the year list. So one disclaimer, when I mean whiskeys, it means bourbon and its family. So rye, American light whiskey, and even Canadian whiskey. As always, too much talking, not enough bottle. Before we move on to the top 5, I did want to give you an honorable mention, which is the 13th Colony Bourbon and Rye. Basically, if I had a bottle of theirs, it would be on this list. But unfortunately, I don't have a bottle, but I had multiple pours with multiple samples, and it just, at $35, it's amazing, amazing bourbon and rye. Unfortunately, I don't have a bottle, so ineligible. Finally, onto the list. Number 5, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, any batch released in 2023, coming in at $80. To me, unless you're looking for a certain batch, like C923, a lot of people are doing, it's actually decently easy to find an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof year-round. I mean, right now I could probably go to 4 stores within about a 10-mile radius and pick up the B523 because people just don't like it. But yes, I think relatively, mostly agree that the C923 or even the A123 is better than the B523. But the B523 at $80, coming in at 11 years, 5 months, at cash strength at 124.2 proof, it is a great, great value. The experience, well, let me tell you what the experience summary was for this bottle, the B523. I had it as roasted peanuts, covered in brown sugar and baking spices, topped over a vanilla ice cream with a shot of whiskey. Ooh, it's almost like a whiskey float. It's just a great experience. And now, if you're looking for any batch and not any particular batch, it's mostly available year-round. And at $80, coming at this age, with this proof, can't beat it. All right, number 4 on the list is going to be Joseph A. Magnus Murray Hill Club, coming in at $95. Now, before you start commenting, how is a $95 bottle good value? Well, like I mentioned in the beginning, it doesn't have to be cheap to offer great value. And for me, this bottle offers about 85 to even 90% of the experience that you can get from a quarter at 40% of the price. And to me, that's great value. Look at what I put at the experience summary. I put vanilla pudding, ripe strawberries and chocolate on top, with a dash of cinnamon spice in a charred wooden bowl. I made it sound delicious, but that's what it tastes like. It's a delicious, absolute fruit, sweet, with a dash of spice, and it's all rounded out by that light whiskey. It's a blend of 18-year-old, 11-year-old, bourbons, and 9-year-old light whiskey, which to me really rounds out the rough edges. It just makes it just that strawberry, the vanilla, the oak, the cinnamon, just perfectly balanced. And the reason I say it gets about 85%, obviously it's 103 proof compared to old Carter American whiskeys, which come at 130, 33 proofs. So you do get a little bit more intense flavor. Yeah, those are $250. And to get similar experience at similar cash range, you have to get 4 Gates or even 2XO Jim and Kentucky, which again are over $200. But this under $100, and you can basically get that experience. Great value. Don't let the price scare you away. So number 3 bottle of 2023, Redwood Empire Lost Monarch cask strength. So it's a bull rye or a blend of bourbon and rye. In this case, 55% rye and 45% bourbon, coming in at 117.2 proof. My experience summary of this is basically it's a perfect marriage of bourbon and rye. You get that sweet spice, but a noticeable spice, along with sweet ripe fruit, all tied together with honey that ends with that chocolate sweet bitterness. It's a blend of their Pipe Dream and Emerald Giant. And Pipe Dream has a little bit of wheat, which really gives you that honey and that chocolate sweet bitterness at the end that just perfect. It just caps a perfect experience of the sweetness and the spice. So it's almost like a umami kind of feel with the bourbon and rye. You get the best of both worlds and you get all of it. So, and coming in at $70, and now the allocation it's almost shelf available. I mean, by the beginning of the year, it was hard to find. It was actually really allocated, but by now, I mean, like I went in December and all the Total Wines I had it, all the grocery stores have it now, all the liquor stores have it. It's everywhere, and it's just sitting on the shelves here. So I know in nationally it might not be as available yet, but if it's sitting on the shelves like this here, I'm pretty sure by the beginning of next year or early next year or early 2024, it's going to be available in a lot of markets pretty soon. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button because it really helps me out. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so because I need you. Number 2 on the list, Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye coming in at $30 and 100 proof. For $30, this is just absolutely amazing. I mean, this is what I wrote down for the experience. It's a candy fruit nose that transitions into candy mint that's dipped in green tea with a dash of baking spices. It's a very unique rye that is just so delicious. It tastes like a barely legal rye because of all the sweetness, but it's a candy sweetness that you usually don't get from rye, but you also get the mint and the green tea. That's really soothing and really refreshing. That just caps off the experience. And again, coming in at $30, easy, great value. So Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye, number 2 value whiskey of 2023. And the number 1 value whiskey of the year goes to Bardstown Origin Series Bottled and Bond, coming in at $44 and at 100 proof. It's a 6-year-old Bottled and Bond wheat whiskey at $44. That already screams value. And then you get to the experience. So I wrote down heavily cinnamon spiced monkey bread with honey on top that was baked over wood fire to give it that sweet oak, that nice little wood smoke. And then you take a sip of coffee to finish it off. Basically, it has the coffee bitterness at the end to round out that sweet cinnamon, brown sugar, caramel, and the honey, and the spice. So it's greatly balanced. It's wonderfully balanced. Bardstown Origin Series itself, all 3 of them is great value. And this is one of the few ones that was released this year that wasn't limited edition. That actually is, something that I like to have. So if you haven't tried this, you need to. And if you have, and you haven't experienced it in a while because you've been trying some of the good stuff that came out recently, go back to this. It's great value. I'm gonna keep buying bottles over and over and over again because I keep on having pours of it. This is already my 2nd bottle of this year, and I'm surprised it's only my 2nd bottle. So Bardstown Bottled and Bond Origin Series, my number 1 value whiskey of the year. So these are my top 5 value whiskeys of 2023. You guys agree or disagree? Or If you had to add another bottle, what would you add? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.